what bothers you? What gets under your skin?
I mean, the list is so large. Uh,
Okay, what's one of the things that get under your skin or annoys the crap out of you?
in movies?
No, in general, in life.
Oh. So when we're talking about a logical conversation, right? And then someone says, I feel for like mathematically, if we're talking about math sound conversation or like something that's just a pure logical conversation, point A to point B, and someone says, I feel like that's not right, and that's not it. It's like, and to me, that has nothing to do with the conversation. Your feelings are the most minute abstract thing that could ever come into this conversation because what is supposed to be fact is the thing that needs to be discussed. We want to talk about, up, down, your finances, whatever. Let's talk about that. We talk about those numbers. We talk about the things that need to be. We talk about what is actual factuality. Your feelings are the next to nothingness that exists in the world in this conversation. But that's the validity that people believe in and need. And I feel is not something I feel is relevant when we're talking about your emotions and how you feel and how you want your well-being. Great. That's a good thing to bring in. Let's not bring that in to facts. Um, I'm sorry.
No, I get. Did you have a rough day at work?
No, my today was my day off.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I see. You're right. So, like, opinions are not factual,
Absolutely.
regardless of what you think, regardless of how you feel on something or emotionally invested you are. Opinions are not factual.
Hmm.
It can be based off facts, but it
Absolutely.
does not change the fact that fact is fact, up is up, down is down,
Unless we start
five
talking about
minus one.
Common Core. God.
Yes, I mean, granted, prior to us knowing two plus two is four or three plus one is four, there was other ways to explain it, but
Hmm.
then we locked it down and made it factual that everyone can agree. You
Correct.
have people who will try now to say, no, five plus two is four, or two minus one is four. It is proven that the earth is round, but you have in 2024 people who still feel that the world is flat.
Yes, this is very true. Yes.
And there's many ways to prove that the world is flat, but they still are like in denial.
You mean the other way. There's many ways to prove that the world is round, not
What did
flat.
I what did I
Someone's
say?
gonna soundbite that and take that. You said
Yeah.
there's many ways to prove that the world is flat.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes. There's many ways to. Yeah, yeah. My bad. But yeah, because sometimes when I get flusher like you were earlier, I tend to make mistakes in my explanations. Okay, well, for me, I guess it falls in the same line because of hypocrisy.
Oh, absolutely. I know you absolutely despise hypocrisy.
Yes, it gets under my skin, regardless of what your political belief, religious belief, all that stuff. It's like you say you support this or follow this, but then your display or what you say is totally different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Say political, you blame one party where in actuality, your party is doing the exact same thing or more or worse than you're accusing of the other party, which that party is not doing.
Hmm.
Or in religion, you say, like you're a Christian and stuff like that, but then you don't want no one to be less fortunate than you to be taken care of or things of nature. Or
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, but you better not do that.
Or my favorite is like, when you get it down to the nitty gritty core of it, like they're like preach peace and like and love thy neighbor, or something along those lines, and then you're the first person to throw slander or hatred to someone else.
Law enforcement, cops, I'm sorry, they're one of the biggest hypocrisies.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of cases where, and this is coming, in the sense that we have law enforcement officers that we've loved their family, and
Yeah, of course.
we know they do a lot of good things, but there's a lot of ones out there that just don't.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, okay, so it's illegal to kill, but what do the cops do? They kill. It's illegal to speed, But what do? They speed. Many of them break and entering. That's illegal. They'll have a conversation with a suspect unprovoked, and the cops will throw the punches. That's battery.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not supposed to trespass. That's illegal. What do cops do? A lot of times they trespass onto people's property because unjustly as well, unjustified, but they just felt like it. Yes, there are some good cops, but again, every cop is allowed to do that. For the most part, that portion of hypocrisy I just can't stand.
Like, let's put it this way: like, so law enforcement has a lot of abilities to do a lot of things within the realm of the law, but they're not
No,
like the Queen's Guard, where, funny enough, the Queen's Guard, highly trained soldiers, mind you, they're extremely trained, but for lack of a better term, they're licensed to kill. They can kill whoever they need to in the need of duty, and they don't get no reprimand unless they actually breached their duties on that.
But,
how factual that is, someone fact check me.
But say that's true.
Yeah.
In the scope of things, in the numbers per capita, it is higher.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
In the US than it is in the UK.
The regulations in the UK is starkly different than us.
Let's move it on. I just want to get that out of my chest and your chest in the sense of what irks us.
That has nothing to do with this.
Has nothing to do with the subject of saying, but granted, yes, it was, because Brandon, he recommended this to us in one of our other reviews. I was hesitant to review this movie because its predecessor, Godzilla versus Kong, even though it was entertaining, it was a one and done for me.
Yes.
I don't remember if we reviewed it together or not. I don't think so. I can't remember. But we did do a review on Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters, which falls into the realm of this monsterverse.
True. And Monarch did get you a little bit more hyped.
Got me hyped due to many reasons, in the sense of a different way of storytelling. It was a prequel to Godzilla versus Kong. The actors in it were amazing, except for maybe some here and there. A little weak story overall. Pace was a little but entertaining nonetheless.
Yep.
So I did not want to watch this movie, and I feel justified in my initial feelings with Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 53% by the critics and 93% by the audience. I think you and I are going to have difference of opinions in this one.
I don't think it will be too stark of a difference, but I think we will.
Could be Godzilla or Kong. Doesn't matter. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel.
I'm Adan.
Where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Is it X or is it An?
I think it's more like how in anime they'll have X in the middle of the title and you technically don't pronounce it. Like Hunter X Hunter. A lot of people just say Hunter Hunter.
So Godzilla Kong?
Yeah. It's kind of like when they had that game Tekken X Street Fighter. Said Tekken Street Fighter. It's more like an and than
okay, fair enough.
Like a cross.
Fair enough.
Or crossover. It's kind of like symbolizing crossover.
All right, so let's give credits where credit is due. Let's get over this quickly.
They got a small cast.
Small cast, very good. But written by Terry Russo, Simon Barrett, Jeremy Slater, Adam Wingard, who also directed it. Now, he's a huge fan of 80s and 90s films, and apparently a fan of professional wrestling and video games.
I could see that.
Yes. I can. Yes, and I saw that. I was able to see that Godzilla versus Kong because there was huge, like, stand-up moments of tribute to Die Hard and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Kong jumping off the boat to go into the water because Godzilla's about to hit him with a laser beam, whatever, and his pose is just like Bruce Willis. And then he has his shoulder dislocated. He slams his shoulder into a building, just like
Lethal Weapon. Mm-hmm.
And he is also, just like other directors who have gone into the but the superhero movies, he was doing horror films.
Yeah, okay.
VHS, The Guest, Death Note, the one on Netflix, the movie.
Okay.
The American version.
I think you know what? It makes sense for The Guest because I think Yeah, one of the actors is from that movie too.
That British guy, the Australian guy.
Dan Stevens. He played Legion.
Oh, that's him.
That's him. Same guy.
I didn't know. Remember, I didn't really watch that show. I watched like 2, 3 episodes. Like, I'm done.
I got through all 3 seasons.
There's 3 seasons.
3 seasons. Absolutely.
Okay, great. He also did the new Blair Witch that came out in 2016.
Okay.
Outcast, VHS 2. So again, his forte was horror films before going into this. And I had to say that I'm very upset that no one from Monarch, the series, was in here. No appearance, nothing. They just had that same agency.
Well, and I remember when we talked about it, you were like suspect that this might be.
I was hoping a
connection,
and that's. I mean, it is when Monarch the Legacy series, the series came out. It came out before this, just what, maybe a month, maybe 2 prior.
Yeah,
and it shows the focus was Godzilla and some other gaijus, and then it ended with Kong coming out.
Yes, but what I mean by that is like you were anticipating it to lead directly to this movie where it's leading more into Godzilla versus Kong.
Right. As Godzilla versus Kong has so many influences, as we mentioned, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and there's probably others in there. Watching this, I was looking for influences. What would influence the director for this movie? I couldn't pinpoint, and there's probably out there like Easter eggs page or channel, they'll point them out.
I watch Mojo,
but I
think they already have like a video up. I don't know
that, or was it New Rock Stars? They probably have it. I got Transformer vibes. I definitely got professional wrestling,
a little bit of anime.
Yes, but I'm interested to see what was the influence this time, because it didn't stick out as easily as the first film.
I felt like for sure like Iron Man at one point.
Well, yeah, but also Transformers. He had a bumblebee arm.
I'm not disagreeing with that. It was either Iron Man or Centurion. You know,
but either or, the thing is coming to him, and the guy releases it, and it falls perfectly on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Now, before we go into our football, because I got a lot of footballs and issues with this, what was a favorite moment or characters?
So I like moments that make me laugh. There were a couple funny moments that were just genuinely funny. And oddly enough, it was always between the Titans and the Kaijus.
Really?
Yes. Like when Kong was first attacked by the apes, right? And the one ape is like running away. He picks up the rock and just yeets it. It hits him in the back of the head. The relationship between him and the little one, like, I thought it was hilarious that it was attacking him at the face. Like the little thing just turned on and went right. And then there was another funny moment like near the end in the big climactic battle. And for some reason it's escaping me right now. But I just thought it was really hilarious about those moments. The music every now and then was really good. I liked the guy who played Legion, and I thought we were going to get more Mikhail.
True, but he got taken out by a tree.
Yes, essentially. So his trapper relationship with Bernie's, that was what kind of they bounced off each other. But otherwise, Kong. That was the most humanized version of King Kong I can think of. In a lot of ways. Well, I mean, arguably, this is his movie.
No, duh.
Yeah.
So it was the first one, Godzilla versus Kong. That was mainly his movie. Again, it felt like Kong
should be
featuring Godzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla was in it, but very little. Yeah, he may have opened it, but that was pretty much it. But before we go into that, so for me, it was more of the side characters besides Bernie
and Trapper.
Trapper was okay.
Okay. You were focused on Gia and her mother.
No, I don't care for them. I didn't care for them. Did not care for them.
How many other side characters? There was only the 4 main ones.
Yes, but you have the Scar King.
Okay, the villain.
You have the little monkey.
Yeah, that was a fun monkey.
Okay, and you have Bernie. Those were the more interesting characters.
Okay.
The way the Scar King was, he was awesome. I love the way his stance, like his stance when he was controlling the ice monkey, dinosaur, whatever. He stood. He was like, "Ha!" Right, but it was like a
Harry Potter.
It was okay. Thank you.
It was like Voldemort from Harry Potter because he'll straighten up and he'll be like,
Right, because the way he was pointing and his stand, because he was very, 'cause for a monkey or a gorilla or what have you, he was very long, not like
Yes.
bulky. He was very lean, and his stance. It also reminded me of, like, say, Death Note, because
Hmm.
Death Note, the character was very long and lanky. Joker from the Mortal Kombat games, all this stuff, very
And
lanky.
he would do the laughter too.
Yes, and he'll point his cane towards the opponent.
Yeah.
So I had that vibe. I was like, I couldn't really picture like exactly because some of the movements he was doing, it reminded me of a certain character or movie, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly as easily as I did in the previous film, as mentioned. Oh, okay, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom,
Because of the whips.
the whips, the gorillas
Oh,
digging
the
stuff, the fire
with the fire.
underground. Yes,
You just
that's
needed a
another
Kale
thing.
Ma moment.
Yeah, no one took a heart out. Yeah, you're right.
You notice like all the monsters were green blood.
Yeah,
They did that to keep the rating down, I believe.
I had to. Because I
Yeah,
was like, it makes no okay. But I guess, but in that world, for them, maybe that's
sure.
what it is. And the little monkey, I liked him. He was a nice character in the sense you see him evolve, you see his growth.
Yes, I want to
Him
say that
and
was his
Kong
mom that got kicked in the.
in the fire in the lava.
Yeah,
Well, it was a family member. That's definitely for sure, father
absolutely.
or mother, and that was cold blooded. I'm sorry, and I liked it.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
mean that's a great way to establish how cruel. I mean, granted, the environment looks cruel, and they had the ape
right,
heads. It's like Planet of the Apes on steroids gone bad.
the way he sat on his throne when you see him. I mean, whoever did the mocap for him must have had a blast.
I can imagine. I can imagine because like
Just like be cocky, be arrogant.
we need you
He
to
was
come in looking like you're old and like really like disheveled, and it's like when you see Kong come up and like straighten up and then make fun of Kong.
I would love to have seen more of him. I mean, I'm glad he's dead. And the way he was taken down, I liked it.
Yes.
I liked the way he was taken down. He was like looking with that one eye. Everything else it was like a cartoon, like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Everything is frozen, and he has all that one eye that can only move. Everything else is stiff. And I kind of like, well, how they tied in, because of course you have this is the American version of Godzilla, not the Japanese one, where they did many, many incarnations of Godzilla,
Mhm.
retelling the story a lot of times, and bringing back other characters. That Gia represented the twins.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, and
Now,
so
is there another one? Because I know there's twins that spoke to the
Mothra.
queen, Manthra, excuse me, Manthra. Is there another set of twins, or is another girl? Because I know there's twins at one time,
No,
and then
so in most iterations, I mean, granted, I could be wrong. In most iterations, there's always twins. Like even in the Netflix animated Godzilla that came out, there was
Mhm.
there was like a 3 series movie, and they had twins there too,
Okay,
to represent. But that granted, now I know it wasn't going to happen, but in the darkest recesses of my mind, when I was watching that whole Mothra rebirth scene,
hmm
I thought she was going
that
to get
seemed
eaten.
yeah, and I thought it was too simple. It was too fast. She shows
But
up, goes up, reaches, and then yeah, there it is.
and, yeah, exactly. And I was like, okay, where's the egg? Because that's the whole thing about Mothra. Like, if you look into Mothra, like Mothra is like the undying in essence in the monster kingdom. Because what happens is Mothra lays an egg, right, and then fights,
hmm
dies. The memories and knowledge of Mothra lives on in the DNA of that egg. So it just rebirths, and then it's like a phoenix.
Also, like, how does she know how to do all that? She just she's told she is the one, and then knows how to do things.
Well, I assume it's like having to feel the energies and whatnot. But yeah, I was like, okay, why is Mothra coming from this specific spot? There's no reason why Mothra should emerge from this specific spot. We don't see nothing that establishes there's like
Mhm,
a warp of reality, an egg, or anything there. But yes, at the top of the temple, go there and you'll bring back Mothra.
mhm.
It makes no sense.
And she's the queen of the monsters. Godzilla's the king of the monsters.
Yeah,
But is there a love thing going on there?
it's more just
Not
by
not a
status.
relationship. It's just status. Okay.
Yeah, they're but they work together. They have more of a symbiotic relationship in essence.
Okay.
So like Mothra will aid Godzilla. Like I think it was in the first Godzilla movie. Mothra showed up and like dawned like radiation or something to Godzilla. The like the light energy. Mothra was in the first Godzilla movie. Fought the little insectoid things.
Don't remember.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. King of the Monsters.
Oh, still, I don't remember. Okay. Also, is it in lore that he can take someone's another monster's energy and then upgrade? Because that's what he did here.
And kind of yes. So it's been done before, like radiation, absorbing the radiation. Yes, different forms of energy has happened. Mothra
But did he?
doing
But
it,
he did.
absolutely.
Okay. So even though I just saw it, I can't remember. Did he upgrade by taking in the radio plant, the power plant, the
I've seen
radiation,
that. Yeah.
or is it because he killed that dragon?
So it wasn't because he killed the dragon. So
Okay.
they explained it extremely fast that solar radiation hits that point where the dragon has its nest. So basically, that nest is like just a pool of solar radiation.
Oh, okay. So kind of yes, kind of sort of. So it wasn't the dragon directly. It was, but the nest of the dragon.
Exactly. Now,
All
the
right.
whole changing physical shape, they only did that once in like one particular movie.
Did he change shape?
Yeah, his arms got longer and he
Oh,
became more like,
oh, because he's running like a
yeah.
person. That one scene, and you've seen the trailers, he runs like a person,
Hmm.
and then his color is different. It's pink. I would hate to live in this world
The
because
collateral damage
dude,
alone,
the home insurance, you're not
non-existent.
safe. You're not safe.
He's like, Godzilla's here to save us. Nah, man.
No, not just Godzilla, Kong, or any beast kaiju that comes around.
Yep.
Granted, the real estate is probably very, very low. And you would think that from the Monarch series, we find out there's like spots that they come from
Yes.
the Hollow World,
Hollow Earth.
which I also have a question about that because from the Monarch series,
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah. Just that's a huge loophole.
right? Because you know about the talk about
Oh, yeah. It's not the same
time.
world.
But there's another world because okay, so what world is this? Okay, so
So from
we
the
we
Monarch
were
series and from what we established here, technically there's 3, maybe 4 worlds. So you got where we're at, right? On
Earth.
top of the earth. Then there's the in between, which they gave it a term. I forgot it. I'm calling it purgatory. That's where Monarch. That's where time dilation happens because there's gravity adjustments. Then there's Hollow Earth where Kong is, and then there was the subterranean realm in Hollow Earth where Scar King lived.
The Iwi tribe.
No, they lived where in Kong's realm. Remember, he inadvertently made it easy for Scar King to get out. Kong. That was the whole thing at
No,
the beginning of the
he
film
made
where
it
he's
easy.
like, he had
No,
the
but he
underground
came
trap.
in.
They were crawling out, basically.
Right. Okay.
It's a
It
loophole.
makes because it makes total sense to have those characters from this series to be in this movie because they had the experience. Also, they're younger because time in that realm that we've mentioned from the series, time staying still pretty much. What happens in 1 week happens 10 years in the real world.
Correct. And matter of fact, even if they did the series like going into the movie, they didn't have to come back to our world. They could have came and ended up in Hollow Earth, and that's how we see Kong.
Right.
But no, none of that happened.
But I mean, well, again, that movie is a series. Excuse me, is a prequel to Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes, but could it have been better if they made it a prequel to Godzilla Kong New Empire? Probably. Not necessary. Yeah.
Makes more sense that way, unless they do another series, season 2,
Which
that
they
takes
might.
place, which takes place between the two movies. Excuse me,
Could be.
maybe. So yeah, we're going back to collateral damage.
So there was first Italy, then France,
Well, it doesn't
then
matter
Egypt.
anywhere. No, it doesn't matter because it's like anywhere these guys go, they destroy.
Yeah.
Any movie. The only one that will probably like, hey, let's not do this here would be
Kong.
Kong.
And matter of fact,
But he didn't do it. But Well, oh,
Even when
what the
they're
what?
not fighting, Godzilla came back to Italy. He's like, I found me a good bed. He lays in the
Right.
Colosseum,
I was like, really, dude?
which in most iterations of Godzilla, he wouldn't even do. Like he'll go to like the
He'll
bottom of
go
the
to the water.
ocean or like
Yeah.
to like some island. He doesn't like being around people. In most iterations of Godzilla.
Neither do I.
I
But I'm not going to destroy stuff as I'm traveling.
mean, when you walk, do
They
you pay
treat it.
attention to the insects around you? Really?
Yeah, I look down. What I'm saying is, they treated Godzilla in a way like a cat. They go or a dog or a pet. And this says how they go into their crate or their bed and snuggle up. I
Yeah,
mean, what I liked about in the sense that where like when Godzilla senses something, like a guard dog who
essentially.
goes out and searches for that noise or sound that he heard,
Oh, that was funny.
disruption.
When Godzilla, when Kong goes to the surface in Egypt to try to call forth Godzilla, and then you see Kong like, whoa, whoa, like trying to
Well, yeah.
gesture like,
Well,
I
kind of
don't
like
want to fight.
right, and he's like pointing to like, this is where we gotta go. Let's here. Wait a minute.
And
Wait a
Godzilla
minute.
like does like, was it the Goldberg spear?
Yes, that's where the
Right.
wrestling comes in. There's a suplex.
Yeah,
He did a
Godzilla suplexed
suplex,
him. Yeah.
right? And then you have the Mortal Kombat. You have get over here,
Oh yeah.
Scorpion, as well as Sub Zero with the ice
Oh
monster
my God, they are
versus,
Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Absolutely.
but not just that, but also Godzilla versus the ice. He was also like fire in the sense of Scorpion,
Yeah, I can see that.
and they're facing each other, right? So I was like, oh my god, this is where the influence is from here. I was like, okay. I do like when the since that I guess talisman spear whatever was broken and
Mhm.
no longer controlling the monster, and he did a Vader. There I go. I did it. Oh my god.
You finally found that connection.
So Kong has Scar King in the air,
Yeah.
right? The beast is loose. He looks at his former master. He looks at Godzilla. He looks at his former master and then freezes him. We saw that with Vader when Palpatine was electrocuting Luke. He's looking at Luke. He's looking at his master. He's looking at Luke. And then he grabs his master and throws him down the shaft. So it's kind of that similarity
Okay.
where he sees this is my chance to be free, truly free. And that monster took it. Me and Star Wars, man.
I will say this, as bad as negatives as we go, they didn't hide the fighting underneath the cloud of night or like because of master like a huge clouds. That was one of the biggest things I hated about the other Godzilla movies was everything was at night or obscured. Like you couldn't see things clearly. It
True.
felt like
But
the was it the siege on the castle in Game of Thrones that in the final season where like
right.
where everything's under cloud of night and I'm like that's not the point of why I'm here.
Godzilla versus Kong, they did the same thing. Regardless if it was dark or light, you could see them.
Yeah, well,
And
they
they
were
do that
in
here.
the city, yeah.
But I mean, and granted, this is not as violent as the previous movie or Skull Island or
Mm-hmm.
the other Godzilla films. In my opinion, it was violent in the sense of fights and stuff like that, but it was like not bloody. Like as we mentioned, the green, the blood is green.
I would say it's not as brutal to the humans. Tree eating a person and seeing. Hear me out.
Are you serious?
Hear me out on this. So, other than a tree eating a person, right, and the drastic amounts of collateral damage, right? You
Right.
don't
So you're saying
see.
all those buildings that collapsed and
Yes.
fell were empty?
No. There's people in there. I'm seeing visually showing brutality to the humans in the sense, like Skull Island, great example. Wasn't there
There
like a
were
thing that like literally latched onto a guy's brain or like his head and then like sucked him in? It was like a worm. And then another guy that got speared with like
I
a
don't remember.
spider.
I just know that Skull Island was very grotesque in that sense.
Yes,
Very, very violent. Yes, that I agree with.
it was not a safe
Uh,
face for people.
right. Yes, is here like in this movie. All these buildings collapse. People are trying to run away. They can't run fast enough. No one can run that fast out of the way of those beasts covering that amount of distance. We don't see it We can just imagine it.
Matter of fact, I was like that scene where Godzilla runs through a bridge, literally just a few days
Oh,
ago.
we see the cars. We see, yes, exactly what happened in Baltimore. We
Yes,
see the, yes, he's
that was the
swimming under,
first thing that came to my mind.
right. I mean, I think he steps on a bridge and then he goes underwater. His tail, his spine, whatever you want to call it, hits the
Yes,
bridge, knocks that down. You see the cars just
topple
flip
over.
with the bridge into the water. I was like, okay, there's people, there's definitely people in there. You
Yes,
can't say people are not in the cars.
I would say that would have been, I'm not usually down for late rewrites or like editing. I think considering that there was a tragedy just like what, 4 days ago, 3 days ago,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
they probably could have said, you know what, we might want to pause this movie for like a day and like
No,
just
no, not, you don't have to pause it. Just
no,
edit.
take it. That's what I'm saying. It just
Oh,
happened.
oh, oh,
Pause
oh,
the
yeah.
movie release wise, and then take out that one little snippet of the scene. No one would know. No one would
No,
know.
no, and it was not necessary. Just to show that this guy Godzilla doesn't give a f about the humans.
And that's the thing. Like Godzilla, let's be honest, is the protector of the earth. Sure, not the people.
Yes, there we go.
And
Yeah.
they try to make the argument that Kong is the protector of the people. I'm like, bro, you need to hit the gym some more. Like I'm just saying, Kong, life is rough for you.
Well, but he is more sympathetic
He is
because
sympathetic.
right, he can communicate with that girl or anyone that knows sign language. He
Yeah.
can communicate. So he is more on their level in that aspect. So Rotten Tomatoes, again, critics 53%, 93 by the audience. Where do you stand?
I'm gonna say higher than the critics, lower than the audience. Like I will watch this at home.
That was
and
my
be
other
fine.
thing. This is not theater worthy.
Yeah, I mean, aspect wise, scene sure good, but for more entertainment, I'd rather be at home watching it.
Right. I mean, I saw it at home when because during COVID they released it on Max and I believe also in the theaters at the same time. I was totally fine with that.
Talk about this one.
Not this one, the Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. Okay.
I side with the critics. This movie's gonna make money. This movie's gonna make money because people
Of course,
that
the theater
enjoyed
was packed for me.
really mine was like somewhat. And
I
saw
would
it
say like
around
70%,
11
maybe
something.
80.
Yeah, I had like 10 people in there that kept on getting up and down, up and down. I'm like, can you please sit the fuck down? Is this worth a watch? No.
It'll be one and done if anything. Okay, before we wrap this up, there's a fun thing to ask. If you had to pick a Godzilla film in the last 10 years to suggest to a person, what would you choose?
-1.
100%. And fun fact on that note, remember, -1 was a $15 million budget.
Yes.
Yeah, opening weekend gross worldwide was like 112 million. 112
Really?
million, yeah. But
I
considering,
thought it made more. I thought it passed easily past 200.
well, I'm going off of IMDb.
Okay.
But when you think about it, that's still insane profit margin. That's almost
Of
a little bit
course.
under 10%, 10%. No, 100, almost 100% boost. Like really,
If it was made for 15
and
and
did just under 113.
definitely like quadrupled or more.
Exactly. And
So
you know what this one was made for?
300 million.
You're not far off.
I mean,
One
with all the CGI, all that CGI, you would think, yes.
135. So
It may,
the
it
earnings from the last Godzilla film
mhm.
practically filmed this movie. And
Right.
we would still watch -1 over this movie
Yes.
if we had to choose.
No, definitely so. It's going to make his money back.
It's not going to do as
It's not going
well.
to kill it. It's not going to kill it, but it'll probably break even. Now, how much is it? Because they consider breaking even. Because don't forget, you also have like advertisement, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But anyway, I will not see this again.
So there you go.
All right, guys, that is our movie review of Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the description below. And as always, if you have a movie or show you'd like us to review, let us know in the comments below as well. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.